Welcome to episode 78 in our series on Duties of the Heart by Rabbi Bachya Ibn Pakuda. And we are still in the third chapter, and we're over halfway through these 30 examples of self-accounting. And in this 18th segment, we're going to talk about humility, the servant's humility, a servant of God's humility, to respect his position in life and his closeness to God, and but remind himself that he's still mortal and he has a job to do. He's a servant. And let's see how Rabbi Bahya analyzes this. So number 18, when a person becomes prideful, haughty, and excessively ambitious in this world, he should make an accounting with himself as follows. He should reflect on his position in creation between the supernal and the terrestrial creatures. It will become clear to him that he is a small and insignificant amongst God's creation, as I explained when dealing with this theme in the 6th gate of this book. Then let him consider how God has granted dignity to man by giving him dominion over the various animals, plants and inanimate objects. As it is written, you have made him master of the works of your hands, placed all things at his feet. That's from Psalms chapter 8 verse 7. By acquainting him with the statutes of his Torah, and by giving him knowledge of all secrets, beneficial to him of the upper and lower realms of this world. Let him consider how God has elevated man, in that he may offer praise and thanksgiving to his Creator, and call him when in trouble, and by God's answering him in times of distress. Further, in that he chose a human being, sent him as a messenger to his creatures, communicated to him the secrets of his power, and revealed wonders through him. Added to this all the favours, hidden and apparent, material and spiritual, general and unique, too numerous to recount, bestowed upon us in loving kindness and grace. Consider, my brother, how insignificant you are, how petty your affairs, and yet how your Creator has exalted you, though he does not need you. Though you are so dependent on his providence and rule, show regard for this excellent crown with which he has crowned you, for the high degree to which he has elevated you in this world, and for the great reward which he has reserved for you in the world to come, by devoting yourself to his service and expressing your gratitude to him. So Rabbi Bahya very elegantly described the position of the human being in this world. We have been given dominion over the animals of the world and the earth, but we have to look after it. We are like the elder brother or eldest child. That we have to look after the planet and nature, and this is our job and responsibility. He has given us the ability to pray directly to him, and be answered by him, and be protected by him. And we have to devote ourselves as servants to a master, like a master. And Rabbi Bahya continues, do not let the fact that God has elevated you through his graces and favours, as I have mentioned, lead you to become proud of your condition, to glory in yourself, or to exalt yourself because of God's kindness to you. Do not think that you deserve this, that you are worthy of it, or that it befits you. On the contrary, cling to humility, modesty and lowliness, which, if you admit your true station in the context of God's creation, are fitting for you, just as a powerless, lowly and unimportant servant will be bound to remain lowly in his own sight, were his master, out of kindness towards him, to promote him and place him among the chosen ones. This servant's self-image should remain as it was originally, before his master overwhelmed him with grace. He should not act proudly in his master's presence, nor be proud of the honour and prominence he attained. He should not ply his master with requests in a presuming way, but should rather leave his interests in his master's hands, trusting in him and relying on his goodness. So again, very beautifully described. The true servant of God doesn't demand from God. He understands, he feels that God's providence over him at all times. He doesn't need to ask. God knows what he's thinking, what he needs and what's good for him. So he completely relies in a very silent manner without having to demand anything or expect anything. His mind is now at peace because he knows God's got his back. And Rabbi Bahya continues, it is told of one of the righteous that after reciting his prayers, he would add the following: My God, I am emboldened to stand before you, not by ignorance of my own paltry stature and inadequate knowledge of your greatness and transcendence, for you are high and exalted, and I am of too little account, too lowly and small, to petition you, to praise and to sing hymns to you, or to sanctify your name, which is sanctified by the voices of the high and holy angels. Rather, what has emboldened me to it is that you have uplifted me by commanding me to pray to you, and have permitted me to praise your exalted name, according to my understanding of you and my grasp of your glory, also that I may express my service to you and my humility before you. You know what is best for me, and the ways in which I should be guided. I have informed you of my needs, not so as to call your attention to them, but that I may be conscious of my great need of you, and of my trust in you. If I should ask you in my ignorance for something that is not good for me or of no benefit for me, your exalted choice is better than my choice, and so I leave all my interest to your lasting determination and supernal governance, as King David said. And he quotes from Psalms 131. God, my heart is not haughty, my eyes are not raised high. I do not occupy myself with things too great and mysterious for me. Surely I have stilled and quieted my soul, like a weaned child with its mother. My soul is with me like a weaned child. So that's a fantastic conclusion to that segment on humility. And the servant knowing his place, knowing he has a job to do, but knowing he has the greatest boss in the universe. Fantastic from Rabbi Bahya. And we're going to do next episode, number 19, which is how we should contemplate God sparing us from harm in this world and giving us his providence.